Debt negotiation and settlement, lowering the burden of debt. Brought to you by yourlegallegup.com, your advantage if you're being sued by debt collectors. If you're in a tight spot with large bills, and usually we're talking about credit card debt here, but not necessarily, it has probably occurred to you that you might settle your debt with your creditor and pay less. You think that if you could get your creditors to take X number of dollars in full payment, you could make ends meet. What do you do to make it happen? In this video, we're going to talk about debt negotiation and settlement. We're going to suggest an approach for you to take if you want to get the best concessions out of your creditors while doing the least harm to yourself. We suggest two fundamental shifts in thinking as a starting point. A shift from thinking in terms of your own situation to thinking about your counterparty's situation, that is, the person that you owe the money to and that you're trying to negotiate with. And a shift from thinking about what you would say to what you will do. Negotiation isn't about words. First, though, something even more fundamental. Debt negotiation and settlement is not a pile of gold at the end of the rainbow, and it's not free money. We're not going to talk very much about the price of debt negotiation here, the price that it does to you inevitably by hurting your credit report and by sometimes resulting in credit companies reducing the amount of the credit they give to you or cutting you off entirely. We aren't going to talk about that, but that is a possibility. If you have the free lunch syndrome, somebody's going to eat your lunch. Look at things realistically. It does involve some effort and possibly discomfort. If you're looking for a magical way out, you will pay people lots of little money to do things for you, or just lots of money. And they will mostly let you down. It is possible to negotiate your debt, reduce your debts, and minimize the harm it does to you, but nothing about it is free. Let's go back to our opening scenario. Let's say you've got a credit card debt of $20,000 that you're struggling to pay, and it's going up. You're losing ground. That's what you see. What does a credit card company see? Asking that question, what do they see or want, is the first step in negotiation. See, nobody's going to give you money just because you need it or because you're desperate. They won't do it because they're nice. They won't do it because you're nice. So why would the credit card company let go some of your debt? There's only one reason. Can you think of that reason? They make a deal because somebody decides it's the best deal they can make in their interests. In other words, they won't reduce your payments until and unless the right person thinks that's the way to get the most money or to lose the least from the deal. You might think that's obvious, and in a way it certainly is, but you might be shocked to hear what people say they want or how they say they will conduct the negotiations to reduce their debt. We all know that credit card companies are in business for themselves and not for you. And that is exactly the way it should be, in my opinion. It follows then that your efforts to negotiate should focus on shaping what the other side sees and thinks about what they can get from you. We'll discuss how to do that in future videos. But here comes the other fundamental shift in thinking that you must make as you decide to try to get your creditors to accept less money in settlement of your debts. And that is to worry less about what you will say and more about what you will need to do. Negotiation is more about your position and what you do than anything you might say. Words are overrated. Think about dating, for example. How often have the words used to ask for a date ever made a difference to you? Beyond a very basic level, they matter very little. In order to get the other side to agree to less, you will have to do something to show them that they need to negotiate with you. Right now, as you pay the bills, the credit card company doesn't think there's anything wrong. Why should they deal with you? Begging is asking them to do something for you and not for them. No. That negotiation and settlement is all about controlling the actual risk and price you pay while increasing your counterparty's perception that you will be unable to pay the original amount and that you may stop paying altogether. If they get the sense that you will just walk away and stop paying entirely, or that you might declare bankruptcy, they will probably start talking to you seriously about reducing the debt, the amount that you owe. And the more that they sense that you could stop paying them, the less they will take in settlement. Or they will sue you. Your goal in debt negotiation is subtly to persuade them not to sue you before they do decide to reduce your payments. There is some art to that in what you say to them, maybe, and our materials do discuss it. But mostly it's the things that you do to make a lawsuit unattractive to them and less scary to you. That's where we focus most of our efforts. For some people, of course, debt negotiation is the logical thing to do based on exactly where they are. They've already lived through the things that hurt them and put them at risk. If you aren't making payments now, and haven't been, debt settlement might save you a lawsuit. A little technical advice might help, and we can give you that. If you've been making payments but can't keep doing so, you have a chance to do some things right that will make your life better. Just remember to make your life better. There's a price to pay for debt settlement. Make sure it's worth it. Protect what's yours and don't let the debt collectors rip you off. Debt collection is a social justice issue. Take actions to protect yourself from the debt collectors and help others do the same. Please like this video, share it with anybody you think could use it, subscribe and comment, as all these things help others find our materials. yourlegalegup.com